Welcome to Psyched. My name's Stephen Bennett. I'm the host of Psyched, where I try to get you psyched about psych. Now in this video today, I'm going to be talking about the effects of video games in relation to our mental health. Now before we dive right in, I just want to give a little disclaimer that this is going to be a generalized overview of video games and their effects on our mental health. I'm not going to be diving into specific genres and their specific effects, as that would take way too much time, and so I'm going to split this up. This is going to be the starting point of a series in which I do dive into various different video games or different genres to outline the effects they may have on your mental health. Now for the question you've been looking for. Do video games pose a negative or a positive effect on one's mental health? Well, the answer isn't so easily stated one side or the other, yes or no. With overuse, video games can actually pose a very negative effect on one's mental health, where on the flip side, video games in moderation and appropriate use have actually been proven to enhance one's mental health as well as their cognitive capabilities. For example, when video games are overused, they can become your life, making it very hard to create and maintain in real life relationships, taking care of your own personal health and hygiene, as well as negating any lessons that video games just can't teach you. On the other hand, with appropriate use, video games have actually been found to be very therapeutic in anxiety, depression, stress management, as well as actually making our brains stronger. That's right, video games are used for our own therapeutic mental health needs every single day, and sometimes we don't even recognize it. Did you know that virtual reality and video games are actually used by therapists right now in order to create social settings that have lower social consequences so that people have less stress while developing their social skills? It's true, and it actually works extremely, extremely well. As for me, I love video games. I love everything about video games, but the two main reasons I love video games are actually in direct relation to my mental health. So I love mythology and I love ancient history. Video games give me a way to jump into those worlds myself. So I'm not just watching someone playing a role online or reading a book of someone else's heroisms. I can become that character. I can feel what's happening around me in that world through the video games. So this allows me to become that ancient Greek hero fighting Medusa, or I can become the mighty Norse Viking raiding the shores of Europe. All these things that I can become, even though I may not want to do it in my real life. Obviously I don't want to raid Europe, or I don't want to go and kill some monster, but this is an outlet for me to play those games and kind of live out those fantasies that I may have, but may not be able to do in my real life. Also, and especially right now, video games are very social. A lot of my friends play video games and I don't necessarily have the pleasure of seeing them very often. So this is a way that I can connect and maintain my relationships with other people without having to be there every day or seeing them person to person, or just having to think of conversations. We can play games and make conversations off of that. It's a very good social platform. And with the continuous enhancements of social aspects of video games, almost every video game has a multiplayer function or co-op function or a person versus person function. There's a sense of competition, a sense of community that you can kind of connect with other people. This also allows you to not just create and maintain friendships in real life, but also to create and maintain relationships online with people you may not necessarily know in person. Now this can be dangerous in some cases, so you have to be really careful, especially with the information you share, but it's not something that's very unheard of anymore. I have a lot of friends who I've met online and we maintain a very good relationship even today. Now I've given a general overview of video games and how they affect your mental health, as well as touched on a few things that I found personally are the biggest and most prominent aspects of mental health in relation to video games, which is the social and the fantasy aspects. There are many more factors involved in this subject, as well as a lot of science behind it. I'm going to dive into that stuff in more detail in future videos where I'm looking at more single video games or single genres, as each genre or video game kind of poses its own effects on someone, whether it's social, fantasy, or anything else. So I'm going to dive into more of the details in those videos. And last but not least, the number one way that video games have affected my mental health in a positive way, I'm not even going to talk about it, I'm just going to show you.
Hey babe, do you think you can do the laundry today? Or like the dishes at least? I mean, like if you're doing those, you may as well like sweep and mop too, just to get it out of the way and get done.
Yes, yeah, whatever you need.
Thanks, I love you.
If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. If you want to see more, we release videos every Tuesday, so hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on all our newest videos. If you have any comments, suggestions, anything like that, you can do it in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to check out our video on video game addiction, which I'll put somewhere around here on one of the YouTube cards. My name is Stephen Bennett, I'm the host of Psyched, and I really hope I fulfilled my job in getting you psyched about psych.